What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here today with another deck profile, and it is for ABCs. So with Dragoon coming back to 2, this deck is a hell of a lot more playable now. You don't have to worry so much about tributing off your 1 ABC Dragon Buster to recover your 3 back. So yeah, ultimately, this deck is so much better with Dragon Buster at 2. At 1, this deck was pretty much dead. At 2, it is a fun deck to mess around with. But before we do get started, please do remember to drop down below and hit that subscribe button if you are new here, because we are always happy to have new people to the channel. But let's get on into the deck profile. Okay, so starting us off for this one, we have the main deck. And of course, it has our ABs and Cs pieces. So we've got the 3 copies of A Assault Core. If you do want to take this list out a hell of a lot more, A can be cut to 2. It used to be at 1 on the ban list anyway, so this card must be the best one. That's a joke. That's a joke because of FTKs. But yeah, you can play this at 2 if you don't want to play it at 3, if you want to use this for a tech card slot instead. The other 2 are significantly more important, in which we have 3 copies of B and 3 copies of C. So your special summon and your searcher. Please do remember that if you cannot activate this card, say if you send B and C, if you have no target in hand for your C, it is cheating if you activate C's effect and then summon the card you search with B. So do not do that. Please do not do that. It is scummy. Really scummy. But yeah, overall, they're your ABC pieces. We're playing them at 3 in this list. The A can be cut to 2 if you want to. But next up, we've got 2 copies of Union Driver. Card is incredible, but you do need to have it in deck, which is why we're playing 2 of it. This dodges the restriction on Union Carrier. Not sorry. I was close to the first time. Union Hanger. It dodges around the fact that you can't special summon the card that you equip with Union Carrier. Union Hanger. I'm going to say that a lot. Because it banishes itself to equip the other card. So you normally would banish this to equip the C, and then you can special summon the C, and you get free plays. Next up, we're playing 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. You can, if you have a Photon Orbital, play 2 copies in a Photon Orbital. It does combo off a lot better than playing 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier normally. Ultimately, though, I don't own a copy of Photon Orbital. I probably will, come January when it gets the reprint, but at the moment, we're stuck with the 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. Sorry if you heard that car that just drove past. It was very loud, and I'm in the back room of my house. But, okay, next up, we've got 3 copies of Photon Thrasher, not Photon Orbital, sadly. But, yeah, just a free special summon, can start off rank 4 plays, easy link, it's a light, great card. Next up, we're playing 2 copies of Gold and 2 copies of Silver. You'd prefer for this to be primary normal summon, because you can special summon a piece from hand. And then, if they do get popped, you can, search special for the other. Yeah, special for the other. It never really comes up because you get them off board pretty quickly, but in the event that it does, they're there. Next off, we've got Hand Traps, and it is 3 copies of Ash Blossom, and then a Gamma and Driver package. Gamma and Driver is just the most popular hand trap at the moment, so it's probably best to play it. You do have that 4 card kind of space after you get everything into it, so that's what I chose to play. You can always switch hand traps out like always for whatever you prefer to play or whatever better fits your locals. Then next up, last cards for the monsters, because we are playing Dragoon, we are playing a Red Eyes Black Dragon, and a Dark Magician. Then we've got the spells, which is 3 copies of Union Harrier. I'm never ever going to say this properly now that they've got so many cards that start with Union. It's Union Hanger. It's your standard search card, really, really broken in this deck. Then the 1 Terraforming, because you want to play 3 copies of Union Hanger. After this, we're playing 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talents. Again, this card can be anything you want it to be. I'm just testing it out with 3 Tactics Talents. I'm not hating it. I'm not loving it. Card's just a solid card, I guess. Then the last of the spells is 1 copy of Red Eyes Fusion, just because you kind of need it for your Dragoon. And then for the traps, we're playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Okay, and next off we have the extra deck, and of course, starting it off is 2 copies of ABC Dragon Buster, now that it is back at 2. I went to say 3 then, if only this card was back at 3. It never should have gone to 1 in the first place, so there's no reason it shouldn't be at 3. Now with 2, you can just free get it off the field. You don't have to keep it on board and be no, I need to protect this card. Now you can feel free to tribute 1 off, get your 3 cards back, go into an Appaloosa with it. Yeah, cards are really, really good because it generates that 3 bodies after it banishes something. Next off, we've got the Dragoon. So the Dragoon is, of course, Dragoon. It's really, really good. In this deck, you don't have to worry so much about leaving yourself with nothing in hand, because you will try and end on like an IP Masquerena, Dragon Buster, and Dragoon. So then once you've used your Dragon Buster, you can tag it out into your 3 pieces, IP them into an Appaloosa, and then recover resources to hand. And then that gives you the discard fodder for the Dark Dragoon. Then for the last fusion, we're playing one Macabre. The way you summon this is with a Nova if you get hit with a Maximus, because we are playing, of course, the Nova in Infinity. So it's just good to have it in here just as a counter to that. So, of course, now we've got the 2 copies of Cyber Dragon. So we've got the Nova in the Infinity. One ranks up over the other. You make them with the Galaxy Soldier. Then we're playing 1 copy of Gear Gigan X, just a generic searcher if you just need to make a rank 4. Sometimes you need to condense your board a little to play off, so making a Gear Gigan S is always good because you get that resource game going. Then we've got 1 copy of IP to start our links, along with a Verte. This card can be cut. It's a Platinum gadget. The fact that it can't be used for a link material to turn its link summoned is bad. So you can cut this. It just kind of helps with like the really bad hands, if you kind of get what I mean. So yeah, Platinum gadget can be cut if you want to cut it. Then we've got 1 copy of Union Carrier. In this version of the deck, this isn't the best. If you have the Photon Orbital, this card becomes insane, because then you get that secondary equip. But ultimately, you're only ever using this if you don't open the Union Carrier, or the Union Hanger. I still am doing this at the end of the video. But yeah, Union Carrier, if you don't open Union Hanger, it becomes playable. If you open the Union Hanger, you don't really need this. It's mainly there for the Orbital Extender. Then for Nightmares, we've got a Phoenix and a Unicorn. Phoenix is a flex spot, so you can cut it. The Unicorn is just kind of what you use when you're ranking up through plays, like normal. Always good to have a spin off the IP as well. Then for the 4s, we've got an access code for going second, and an Appaloosa for going first. But that will wrap us up here for the deck profile for this one. So if you do have any changes you would normally recommend, do comment them down below as to what you would normally play. I'm sure everyone would like to know like a bit of like other opinions on way to change this up. Ultimately, yeah, all I can say is that Photon Orbital is like the big change to this list that adds that extra layer of like slap down and infinity if you just have the basic extenders, so it's always great. But yeah, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, and have a good afternoon, everybody.